Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another live stream, another No Tanks live stream. Been an interesting week for me. Last week's live stream, technical live stream about mouthfeel, got some interesting responses. A few people just inquiring about the mechanics of it, and a few people had a doctor respond saying, I couldn't listen to it because your description of the body wasn't right. And I was like, okay. And he explained in a big detail how it works. And I said, but the end result is that the flexibility in the chest or lack of flexibility can damage the lungs. I didn't talk about the floral membranes and stuff between them. I just and he went, yeah, that's fair enough. So that was quite there was about 2 or 3 people like that. Your description's not correct. Yeah, but it's simplified version and the end result was the same. Yeah. And a couple of people saying, but you didn't talk about the psychological effects of that being deep. It was not the point to talk about the psychological effects. So it was an interesting week for me, answering people and talking to people. But mainly a really good response. So in other news, obviously we're still in super lockdown, tier 5. People are calling it. But the Brighton crew are doing, or rather, Alethea's running some dry breathing Zoom sessions. So if you're interested in that, message me and we'll see if we can fit you in, or I'll send you over to her and see if she can fit you in. Which is really, really nice to see people getting out there and doing stuff and meeting up online and keeping themselves enthused. I would usually at this juncture say about the trips that are happening, but what trips could possibly be happening? Well, we're going ahead with Marsa Alam on the 10th of June, and there's possibly a space or 2 left on that. And so we're kind of hoping things will be sorted by June. Other than that, there is a yacht trip in May, the end of May, which is available if we can get out there. I think we should be able to get out to Catalonia, so I think that should be good to go. Oh, okay. So tonight's session, I promised last week I'll do a little bit more light-hearted than the technical stuff. So I thought I'd talk about dry toys you can play with. Mid-lockdown, can't get out of the house, can't meet up with anybody. So what can Amazon bring you? Well, of course, we have the straw, the bombilla for learning circular breathing, to help play with the didgeridoo. But more freediving related, it's going to help you with soft palate control and creating pressure with the cheeks and the tongue. That's going to help with equalization. And the straw or the bombilla goes along with the ETT, which I know people are using because Alex actually messaged me this week and said, disaster, my ETT is broken, which is good, means he's been using it. These are latex balloons. They go back. They don't kind of go saggy, so you can keep using them. And yeah, you usually get a good couple of years out of a decent latex balloon. You can use normal balloons for an ETT, but they just don't last. So you just kind of go through them. So ETT and bombilla. But I'm not going to talk about these because these are just normal things that we talk about, the normal things we train with. So I'm going to talk about some other toys that you can kind of use. So the first off is what we call the Randomizer. Okay, so a beautiful piece. Look at that. Oh, nice. So I bought this actually in a shop. Do you remember those places you used to go and buy stuff, like actually walk into? They had these in Tiger, I think. You can definitely get them online. They're just a multi egg timer type stuff, and you can get them 1, 2, 3 minutes, or this one's 3, 4, 5 minutes. They cost like a couple of quid or 3-4 quid. You can get them. Definitely get them online. So check them out. Why, you say, would you want one of them there, Marcus? Well, because we are, being human, we want to know how long we hold our breath. We want to kind of put a number to it. And it's really powerful, that desire to have some sort of kind of number handle on stuff. So a long time ago, I thought, well, yeah, okay, it's nice to know what you can do comfortably, what you can do just at a drop of a hat, what we call personal worst, because that can then, you can take that forwards, and when you're above a wreck, just about to dive, and they say, oh, it takes a minute to go through this, usually to go down or go through, you can say, oh, I can do a minute. Personal worsts, over a minute, and so you've got that, in your repertoire. So the randomizer, hold your breath and you time it, and you can say you can get 1, 2, 3 minutes, or 3, 4, 5, or this one I have sitting on my desk all the time is literally just a 3-minute egg timer, and it's just, whether you've gone over or by a lot, a little, or rather with this one, you've 3 minutes, but over 4 minutes, about half. So it really softens, so you're not at that point where you're going, okay, I did 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Adding those tiny little digits in really kind of changes the dynamics of it. So using a randomizer, you're on it, you're past it, a time, so you've got a lot softer, but you can still kind of get a time. Okay. But you won't start drilling down into the details. So I like them. This one, all logoed up with the Freediver logo. Freedive. There you go. So check them out. A couple of quid. You must be able to get them on Amazon for hang on. You must be able to get them on Amazon. So there's a whole set of them. Look, 6 colours. I'm just looking on Amazon. Look at that. Anyway, so you can get them for a couple of quid on Amazon. Kiri did say to me, "Don't big up Amazon. Oh, it's just the first one I came to. Other online shops are available." Okay, second up. So that's the first toy. Is a randomizer. Second up is the pulse oximeter. Okay, so you may have seen it before. People are suggesting you get one for COVID because they give. Well, let me turn it on. They give a pulse eventually, and they give, so the pulse at the top. Is this all going to be backwards for you? I don't know. No, it's not. So pulse is at the top, so 62, and the oxymeter tells you how much oxygen in the blood is on the bottom, 97. Now, I will say before we go any further, this one costs £6.50, I think including postage. You can pay a little bit more, up to 20 quid or so, and some of them I have seen, but I haven't been able to find them recently. They keep a kind of track on it, so you can see whether your heart rate's going up or down. They're not particularly accurate. Okay, they are not particularly accurate. The heart rate is going to be quite good, but the pulse, the oximeter, is not going to be particularly accurate. For instance, I'm showing you now, it says 98%. 98% is low. It should be 99. Bang, all day long, 99. And look, it's dropped to 96. Oh my gosh, 97. And yeah, 90. If you have 95, then you should be going to hospital. Like that's yeah. So they're not accurate. But more than that, they're on the end of your finger. Okay, so the likelihood of the end of your finger having a good representation of the oxygen that you have in the rest of your body is unlikely. But this actually works well for us as free divers holding their breath. If you've been doing things like the zany tables, which really trains the blood shift, so all the blood comes out of your extremities of your body, the blood oxymeter will show this. Now, this is something I did just before the show. So you can see the heart rate is 63, 97, 98, 97. And then as I relaxed, closed my eyes and dropped into a pre-dive state, my pre-dive state, you can see, look, technically I died about here. Okay, but it's not. This is me doing a blood shift. So 92 is going down to. And this is me bringing on the blood shift voluntarily. And then I start breathing again and it goes back up. And the heart rate kind of goes back up as well. Okay. Other fantastic things that you can do are, if you do partial lung or empty lung breath holds, you'll see your heart rate will drop off quite quickly if you're in a nice relaxed state. You won't be able to keep it low particularly long, but you should be able to make it drop off by doing a partial lung. If it doesn't, then keep training, keep practicing, keep watching it, and don't get particularly about the numbers, about how precise it is, but you should be able to see this trend dropping off. You'll also see the oxymeter will probably drop off quite a lot when you start breathing again, which is always quite interesting to see. You'll also see, for those no tanksers out there, when you do the candle blows, you will see a spike in your heart rate. Now, one of the 5 reasons we do the candle blows before dives, first one to teach is telling our body we're going to hold our breath. Second one is telling our body we're going to hold our breath. And I can't remember which order, but it will also invigorate and helping the blood go around the body. But the 4th or 5th reason is that we actively increase the heart rate artificially before a dive, and we want this to happen. Oh, excuse me. We want this to happen. The reason is because if you're resting on the surface of the water and your heart rate drops, from 60 down to 50 because you're chilled, and then you demand oxygen being pumped to the body as you do the duck dive, your heart rate will go up because you've demanded oxygen. Okay, so the heart rate will go back up and stay quite high because the body's right. Okay, you wanted oxygen. I'm going to give you oxygen, so the heart rate will stay high. Okay. If you're laying flat and you blow the candles, the heart rate goes up quite quick, quite high. Then you do your duck dive, and then the heart rate drops. So using the candle blows during the dive, the heart rate drops quicker because you're kind of masking that demand for oxygen that triggers your body to give you a high heart rate. Okay, so and you can see that on the oxymeter. Okay, so really nice bit of kit, bit of fun, and they're saying you should have one in your house in case you've had COVID or you get COVID and you start seeing, start feeling a bit crook. You can stick this on your finger and see if your oxygen levels are reasonably high. If they're down low, call the ambulance. As I did earlier when I did that demonstration, it went to 93. That's it. Got COVID. Didn't. Let's see if it stays consistently low. Okay, so that's the second toy. Easy to get a hold of. On that note, you can just pick up my phone to show you something, and it said watch now. Marcus Greatwood is doing a live stream. There's an app. There's loads of apps, okay, that you can start measurement, and you just put your finger over the light and it measures. Oh, I turned it off by accident. And it's kind of measuring my heart rate with my finger on the back. It should be. We'll see whether it does. There you go. This app literally I downloaded today for free. It doesn't give you, this particular one doesn't give you a continuous reading, just kind of reads it once, which is fine. But there's probably apps out there that give you continuous readings and you can go into it. But that's for free, which it's out there. It's not even Amazon making money out of you. Okay, so it doesn't do oximeters. I haven't seen any to do oxygen oximeters, but yeah, definitely do heart rate. Okay, of course, if you've got a smartwatch, you can do a heart rate automatically. But that's not a toy that I would suggest you go and buy just because I've seen the video. Okay. Okay, so last toy, and I've just had a message pop up from Hazza. Just realised that I've been watching your channel for 5 years, and he said, one question, do you know any nice places to dive in the UK? Loads. We dive in the UK all the time, and in fact we're just putting together 2 dive trips. Actually, I didn't mention it at the top of the before I go on to the third toy. 2 dive trips for later in the year. We're looking at going to Lundy Island and Wales, up in Snowdon, to dive some of the quarries up in North Wales. But of course, we've also got Free Fest on the 17th of July for a week in Cornwall. Beautiful, beautiful location. So that answered your question. And the third toy that you can probably buy on Amazon is a piece of elastic. So you can get a pair of old granny knickers and take the elastic out, or anything that's got elastic in. Very, very simple. All you're going to do, okay, kick the microphone as I stand up. You're just going to tie it around your waist. I might have picked up the one that was too short, but there you go. I haven't. I'm on it. I should have practiced this beforehand. Yeah, and then I would have got a longer piece of thread, but I haven't. Okay, very, very simple. Now you can wear this under your clothes, so you can use it. You can have this on during meetings, during school time, in the car, on your scooter. Okay, very, very simple. You want to put it just above your belly button. Belly button's here. And if you were watching a few weeks ago when I was talking about belly breathing, you want to breathe above the waistband of your trousers. Okay, you don't want to try and push the waistband out like this. You want to breathe over the top. Keep the waistband still. Okay, but this is just a really nice thing to have. You can just wear it like this, and it just brings your awareness to your belly, and therefore diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, now this is useful for any sports, anytime. So you can start breathing and stretching it, and breathing out, and try and make it fall off. Try and get your belly as small as you can. Level 1. Level 2. Be really conscious of bringing the sides in. Okay, so this is making use of the full diaphragm. And then level 3 is you want to pull the back in. So when you breathe in to the belly, the sides and the back of your body. When you're breathing out, yes, you're pulling your belly in, but you're also pulling the sides of your body, and pull up the diaphragm at the back, so you can feel the whole of your body constricting. I can just feel it. It's just there. Pull into the back. Just try and make it fall off. Try and get your belly as area, the circumference, as small as possible. So that's my third toy that I'm going to suggest that you can buy and play with. Okay, the first 2 things I mentioned, the Bombilla and the ETT, we've put some videos on before. Check them out. You should be using them at least every other day at the moment. Bedtime stretches, again, we've been doing them. You should be doing them every day. You're never gonna say, hey Marcus, I'm too flexible. You're never gonna say, you got me to do those, and I've never used them. So bedtime stretches every day, ETT every other day, just playing with them, and the stuff that we had today. Okay, so Haz has just put another question up. My 5 and 7 mil wetsuit has finally come. You don't need a 7 mil wetsuit. Nobody needs a 7 mil wetsuit. We dive in Iceland, which is colder than under ice. 5 mil wetsuit. 7 mil wetsuits are so much hassle putting on, so much effort to move in. Maybe if you're spearfishing and you're just kind of going to be in the water for that amount of time, maybe. But I wouldn't know. Not spearfishing. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. Any questions, don't forget, post them in now in the comment section or in the video when it goes up live. You can always message me via Facebook Messenger, and yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and I will see you next week for the next live stream. Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao.